2009 was the year of Jedward's conception, Kanye West ruining Taylor Swift's night, and a world-class golfer's fall from grace. But the cheating wasn't just confined to Tiger Woods' bedroom. Oh no, it was present on the football pitch too. Isn't that right, Thierry? Y'all know by now that there are quite a few footballers I don't particularly like. One of them being Mr. Thierry Henry. Y'all know why. That man broke my heart. And yes, I realise I sound like a 13-year-old girl desperately seeking sympathy likes with the accompaniment of a "you okay, hun?" But no, alright, this was just the most horrendous day. 18th of November 2009. The day Thierry Henry ruined my life. This was one of the darkest days in Irish football. Yes, worse than getting smashed 5-2 off Cyprus. Worse than that time it took us until the 93rd minute to scrape a win against a bunch of plumbers and panel beaters from out the back arse of San Marino. God, that was truly embarrassing. And yet, even worse than the day we trotted out Paul McShane for his first international cap. Giving him a pair of football boots and a wage to play football is akin to giving Oscar Pistorius a dimly lit bathroom and a license to hold a gun. I mean, come on! As a country, we hadn't been to an international tournament in nearly a decade. It was tough not knowing what to do with ourselves every summer.
Euro 2004 is a great tournament.
It wasn't. Greece won, and we were nearly all bored to death. We weren't at 2006 World Cup either, and we weren't even afforded the luxury of laughing at England at Euro 2008. We need tournaments, okay? We do. I remember when the playoff draw was announced for this. In the qualifying for the 2010 World Cup, we'd essentially battled through a qualifying group with Italy and Bulgaria to get spat into the playoffs. We hadn't lost a single game in qualifying. Hello, let's not get carried away. Giovanni Trapattoni had done his very best to suffocate any attacking impetus out of our midfield, chucking both Glenn Whelan and Keith Andrews into the middle of the park. Watching that, I would honestly rather eat a bowl of my own teeth. We could have been paired with Greece, Russia, Portugal or France. I remember sitting on the toilet praying to Christ that we'd get one of Russia or Greece. But no, we got France. Great, that's us not going to the World Cup then. It's like wearing sneakers to a London nightclub. You know you're not getting in. The first leg we set up defensively, lost 1-0 in Dublin. Uphill task. Basically, we had to go to Paris and win. Win at the home of the former world champions. And we did. The lads effectively ignored anything Trapp might have said, but we decided to actually attack the French backline, and guess what? It worked. Robbie Keane levelled the tie, we piled forward, and had chances to grab the second and miraculously send us through. So with the ties levelled, the game goes to extra time. We're still in the ascendancy, and then oh good God, no. Right, before I get into this, right, I need to preface this by laying the blame at the doors of 3 people, all of whom I will get to in good time. But first, yeah, I have to lay the blame at one of the lads in a green shirt. The ball floats in from Flora Maluda. It's drafted into the box. Any defender worth his salt would head that ball clear. Get out, just get it away from danger. Anyone, even a block of rotting wood, a comatose donkey, anyone would have known what to do. Listen, Paul, alright, we've conversed on Instagram. You seem like a lovely fella, but I'm asking you now, why? Why did you not clear the ball? It was right there. Why didn't you stick your ginger bonds on it and divert it to safety? Why? You all know how I spent the last World Cup, spending 30 days in a vegetative state, being daily drip fed 6 hours of football every single day. One day featured about 4 goals from 3 games. How was I supposed to do a video on that? I was being driven slowly insane that World Cup. By the end of that tournament, I felt like I'd spent the previous month locked in a Vietnamese prison cell. So basically what I'm saying is, I need Ireland at international tournaments, alright? Otherwise, who am I cheering on? The goddamn linesman? Resting all my hopes on England getting knocked out? And even at Euro 2008, I didn't even get that. No, I need Ireland at tournaments, alright? Just like I did back in 2010. This was the moment that all integrity in football died. I'm sorry, but it was one of the biggest sporting injustices I've ever seen. It was shocking, absolutely appalling. You could talk about the Maradona handed cup, but at least that was at a World Cup. You might say,
oh, it was 10 years ago, Irish guy, get over it.
No, I won't. I can't get over it, alright? I just can't. I just can't let this go. Just remembering it now, even talking about this, is just making me remember just how goddamn angry we were as a nation. If I could sum it up in one word, you know, just to give a bit of an insight, a bit of a window into our disappointment, it would be yeah, that pretty much does it. Look, we're Ireland. We're a proud country who don't get to go to many international tournaments, alright? Our rugby team flatters to deceive at World Cups. Our cricket team produces lads to captain England to World Cup glory. And for the last 5 years, the lad has been flying the tricolour highest for our country is just some bearded gangster who spends his time sculling whiskey, painting gorillas on his chest and punching old men in pubs. How can you not see this as a referee? How can a man with working eyes not see that Thierry Henry just handballed it twice? Honestly, what did he think happened? He would have seen the ball was going clearly out of play before completely changing direction at hip level. Did he think Henry had a bionic leg attached to his ribs? How else did he keep the ball in? Please, answer me that, Mr. Martin Hansen.
Referee Martin Hansen says, I hope I will survive this after handball error costs Ireland.
You hope you'll survive this. Well, I'll tell you who didn't survive, Martin. Our World Cup chances because of you, because of your inability to tell the most blatant handball I've ever seen in my life. Our World Cup hopes lay dead on the floor, motionless and soaked in blood. Okay, right, I get it. Mistakes happen. Joey Essex's birth being one. But the least we could get was a semblance of an apology. An admission of guilt, at least.
I cannot comment on the game itself, but life must go on, and I hope I will survive this too.
You can't comment on the game. No, why would you want to? It's essentially the moment you split your career in half. So what happened after this? Well, he was originally supposed to ref at the 2010 World Cup, but after showing that he clearly had eyes made of cotton, he was instead demoted to fourth official. No, that's still not good enough. He should have had his refereeing license ripped up on the spot and sentenced to 9 years of milking cows out the back arse at County Sligo. His mere presence at that tournament was an insult to our nation and everything we've ever fought for. You might as well have taken our flag and smeared it with horse placenta. I'm sorry, but if we're not going to a World Cup, then neither should he. According to Wikipedia, apparently this man's hobbies are angling and hunting. With eyesight like that, the last thing that man should be given is a loaded gun. He'd probably end up blowing off his own feet. He's retired from refereeing now, probably out of pure shame, and currently works as a firefighter. I'm sorry, but if my tin shack is the subject of an arson attack, the last person I want putting it out is Martin Hansen. And now let's hear from the man himself, Mr. Thierry Henry.
I'm not the referee, but if I hurt someone, I'm sorry. I will be honest, it was a handball, but I'm not the ref. I played it, the ref allowed it. That's a question you should ask him. The ball ran up against my hand and I continued to play. The referee did not blow his whistle and there was a goal. I would have preferred that it happened differently, but that is not down to me. It is the referee.
As far as public apologies go, that ranks up there alongside the worst.
I'm so sorry.
This is like when Logan Paul apologized for filming a victim of suicide with 3 f***ing emojis. Usually with an apology, you're supposed to accept some portion of the blame. With this, basically, he's just heaped it all on the ref. Now, don't get me wrong, the referee clearly hadn't visited his optician in about 2 decades. But who's the one who handballed it, Terry? Who's the one who ran off cheering like an epileptic goat? Basically, what he's saying is, it's alright to cheat as long as you don't get caught.
Thierry Henry to divorce English wife. Thierry Henry, unreasonable behaviour caused split.
Least surprising headline ever. You're not embarrassed to celebrate this, lads. You're France, one of the bastions of world football, and you're gonna celebrate a handball against the Republic of Ireland at home in extra time of a playoff. You were forced to cheat against the likes of Liam Lawrence and Paul McShane. That is like trying to beat Stephen Hawking in a 100-meter dash and still choosing to puncture his wheels. Have you no shame? And what's more, he even found time to make himself look like a victim.
Thierry Henry, I was let down by France and nearly quit. You can always forgive, but you cannot always forget.
Hang on. Who the hell are you forgiving? We just wanted our World Cup back.
Despite everything that has happened, the fact of feeling abandoned after the game, even for the next 2 days, I felt alone, truly alone.
My heart bleeds for you, multi-millionaire World Cup winner. It truly does, but that is what happens when footballers with egos the size of rainforests, they don't like being called out for things they might have done wrong. This is Thierry Henry, a man who probably employs 6 different people to wipe his arse every morning. A lad who probably stops for selfies every 12 minutes. He probably just hangers on. Yeah, yes man. Of course he's gonna react like this when the world turns on him.
I should not have done it, but frankly it was uncontrollable.
I'll agree with you, Thierry. The ball was uncontrollable. With your feet, which is why you should have let it bounce out for a goal kick. Everyone's been up in arms about VAR this season, calling it the worst thing to happen to football since the invention of... You know what? I'm actually too angry to think of a punchline. It was bad, alright? People calling on VAR, it's everywhere you look. People in mainstream media, in the dugouts, even people on this very channel. But I don't know if you've noticed, I've held back a little bit. I'm not gonna write off VAR as something created in the depths of hell, i.e. the same place that birthed the likes of Hitler, Mussolini and Rebecca Vardy. No, it's because I remember this moment. Yes, VAR might delay a goal celebration. It might judge you being offside because a singular eyelash was ahead of the fullback. But it would have stopped things like this. It wouldn't have rewarded cheats with a World Cup. I don't care, yeah, it was going to penalties. But the momentum was with us, we were up for it. France were gone, out on their feet. They couldn't muster a meaningful response. It was desperate, the players were panicking. The fans frustrated, inching ever closer to the darkest day in French football, and in front of a baying crowd. You really think they have the stomach for penalties? Not a chance. So yeah, VAR has its teething problems, but I remember this incident and of course it is imprinted on my very soul. The reaction was also pretty heavy back in Ireland. Large portions of the country were even choosing to boycott Henry the vacuum cleaner. According to the papers, several cleaners say they're unhappy working with vacuum cleaners with the cheat's name written on them. Some have painted over the name on the cleaner and wiped the smile off his little red face. Yeah, see what you've done, Thierry? We were so angry with you that we chose to deface vacuum cleaners that dared to promote the name Henry. Don't get it twisted, Thierry, this is on you. You have the blood of an innocent Hoover on your hands. Oh, and there was more. Boycott threat to Gillette products over Thierry Henry handball. Yeah, letters were written into this company to ditch Henry as an endorser because he was no longer an appropriate role model. According to David Doherty from Galway,
I complained to Gillette directly, and even though they acknowledged he admitted cheating, they said it wouldn't affect their relationship with him.
Interesting how this company is brought out an advert lecturing us on toxic masculinity, but they continue to allow a virtuous cheat to endorse their brand. Very interesting. It wasn't good, lads. We were furious. Some of us still am. Some conspiracists at the time thought this was all planned and rigged by FIFA. Because yeah, I mean, don't get us wrong, the likes of Thierry Henry and Flora Maluda are much better candidates to market an upcoming World Cup than the likes of Stephen Kelly and Paul McShane. For Christ's sake, the very presence of the latter would probably almost be enough to make football fans want to boycott the tournament out of sheer protest. If you're going to chuck a wet lump of ginger fluff into the most prestigious footballing tournament on earth, it's about as disrespectful as nominating a pigeon for the goddamn Oscars or forcing the Queen to do her Christmas speech in a bin bag. Do I think it was conspiracy? No, I just think one man has a soul made of fudge and the other had eyesight on par with Stevie Wonder. And the other one is just bad at football. So yes, for the last 10 years, the 18th of November has been emblazoned into my soul as a terrible, terrible day, which I imagine Katie Hopkins' husband probably has from the day he got married. But now, finally, we have a chance of redemption. Today, the 18th of November 2019, we are going to beat Denmark and qualify for Euro 2020. Finally, we're going to exercise not just one demon, but two. Considering it's the same Denmark team which cost us place at the last World Cup, this time 2 yeurs ago, Christ, that was depressing. We were 1-0 up and we still lost 5-1. But no, tonight we're going to beat Denmark. So it's bye-bye to that 5-1 playoff memory and au revoir to the memories of the honorary handball. Finally, I can exterminate this forever. Cannot wait. Come on, lads, alright? Let's go and beat the Danes and get to our 3rd European Championships in a row. Come on. But lads, tune back in later on in the week for my reaction to our glorious win over Denmark. I could just feel it. But yeah, tune in for that, lads. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, I'll talk to you in a while.